the illusion of movement. If your business is generating revenue, but you still feel like you're fighting for stability, this is for you. Because there's a difference between money moving and money consolidating. And most leaders don't realize they're trapped in the first without ever reaching the second. Money comes in. Money goes out. The business is active. The team is working. Clients exist. Invoices are sent. Payments arrive. But at the end of a quarter, you look at the numbers and something feels off. Not catastrophic, just heavy. Like you're working twice as hard for half the result you expected. You're not losing money dramatically. You're just not keeping it the way you should. And that pattern has a name. It's called stuck flow. Stuck flow is when revenue enters the business but doesn't circulate properly. It gets trapped in delays, in indecision, in fragmented processes, in constant revision, in things that almost close but don't. The money is there, but it's not free. It's like water entering a system with too many bends, too much resistance, too many points where pressure drops. The flow exists, but the delivery is weak. And here's what makes this frustrating. From the outside, everything looks fine. You have clients. You have activity. You have a team. You have systems. But internally, the business feels like it's constantly catching up, constantly firefighting, constantly delaying what should be simple. You close deals, but the payment process takes longer than it should. You deliver results, but invoicing gets pushed to next week. You make decisions, but they get revisited 3 times before they stick. You plan the quarter, but execution feels stop and start. That's not a revenue problem. That's a circulation problem. And circulation problems are expensive because they don't just cost money. They cost time, focus, momentum, and leadership energy. And when leadership energy is drained fighting friction, the business suffers in ways that don't show up on a P&L. Now, here's the part most leaders miss. They assume circulation problems are operational. So they add systems. They add meetings. They add people. And sometimes the problem gets worse. Because the issue isn't what they're doing. It's where they're doing it. The invisible stagnation points. Let's talk about where money actually gets stuck inside a business. Not in the bank account. Not in the market. Inside the structure. The first place money gets stuck is in delayed decisions. Every time a leader hesitates, revisits, or postpones a decision that should be clear, money slows down. Because decisions are the gates that allow money to move. When the gate is closed, everything behind it waits. Proposals wait. Contracts wait. Payments wait. Execution waits. And waiting is expensive. The second place money gets stuck is in fragmented processes. When a business operates without clear lanes, tasks overlap, responsibilities blur, and nothing finishes cleanly. People work hard, but outcomes take twice as long. That fragmentation creates a hidden tax on every transaction. The third place money gets stuck is in communication friction. When information doesn't flow smoothly between the leader and the team, clarity drops. When clarity drops, mistakes increase. When mistakes increase, rework becomes normal. And rework is money sitting still. Now here's the part that surprises leaders. These circulation problems are not just operational. They're environmental. Because the space where decisions are made directly influences how fast those decisions happen. The space where the team works directly influences how smooth communication flows. And the space where the leader sits directly influences how clear leadership becomes. If your office layout creates constant interruption, decisions slow down. If your workspace mixes tasks without separation, focus fragments. If your environment lacks structure, your business mirrors that lack of structure. This is not metaphor. This is mechanics. Your environment shapes your behavior. Your behavior shapes your decisions. Your decisions shape your cash flow. So when your environment is misaligned, your cash flow becomes misaligned. Most leaders ignore this connection because it's not visible on a dashboard. You can't measure it with a KPI, but you can feel it. You feel it when simple things take too long. You feel it when you're working hard, but results feel delayed. You feel it when the business is moving but not consolidating. That feeling is the signal. And the signal is pointing to your environment. The office as a flow system. Think of your office as a system with 3 essential functions: entry, circulation, and exit. Entry is where information, decisions, and resources come into the business. Circulation is where work gets processed, where tasks move from one stage to the next. Exit is where outcomes are delivered, where deals close, where money leaves or enters the business cleanly. When all 3 functions are clear, flow is clean. When any of them are blocked, money gets stuck. Now, most offices are not designed with flow in mind. They're designed for aesthetics or convenience or cost. And that's fine until the business starts scaling. Because what works for a small team stops working when complexity increases. And leaders rarely notice the shift. They just feel the friction. Here's what blocked entry looks like. The leader's position is constantly interrupted. People approach from behind, from the side, without clear pathways. The door opens directly into the workspace with no buffer. The leader is accessible, but too accessible. So decisions get fragmented. Focus gets scattered. Leadership presence weakens. Here's what blocked circulation looks like. The workspace has no clear zones. Strategy work happens in the same place as administrative work. High-focus tasks mix with low-focus tasks. The team works hard, but there's no structure guiding the work. So tasks bleed into each other. Priorities blur. Everything feels urgent, but nothing finishes cleanly. Here's what blocked exit looks like. There's no clear closing zone in the office. Deals are discussed everywhere. Contracts are signed anywhere. Payments are processed in the same space where brainstorming happens. So the energy of completion never settles. Things almost finish, but don't. The business is always in motion, but rarely in conclusion. And here's the key insight. These aren't just spatial problems. They're financial problems. Because flow speed determines cash speed. If it takes 3 weeks to close a deal that should take 3 days, that's not a sales problem. That's a flow problem. If invoices sit in draft for a week because nobody has a clear moment to finalize them, that's not a process problem. That's a circulation problem. And circulation is shaped by environment. So yes, your office layout can be the reason money feels stuck. When space holds the money. Let me give you real examples of how space holds money back. A consultant I'll call James ran a high-ticket service business. Strong offer. Great clients. Solid reputation. But every quarter felt like a grind. Revenue came in, but it never felt stable. Payments were late. Clients took forever to commit. Proposals sat in limbo. When we examined his office, the pattern became clear. His desk faced a wall. Behind him was open space and a door people used constantly. He had no clear sight line, no positional authority, and his workspace was cluttered with half-finished projects. Every surface held something unresolved. That environment was sending a signal, not to clients, to James. The signal was, nothing is finished. And when a leader operates in an environment where nothing feels finished, decisions don't finish either. They linger. They get revisited. They stay open. We restructured his workspace. Stable position. Clear sidelines. Closed loops. Within weeks, his closing rate improved. Not because he changed his pitch. Because he stopped hesitating. Another example. A business owner named Sophia led a team of 12. Revenue was growing, but profitability wasn't. The team was busy, but outcomes were inconsistent. Her office layout had one major flaw: no separation between work modes. Strategy happened at the same desk where she answered emails. Client calls happened in the same space where she reviewed financials. Her brain never knew what mode it was in, so every task bled into the next. Decisions took longer. Focus was fragmented. She was working 12-hour days, but felt like she was accomplishing 8 hours of results. We created zones. One area for strategy. One for execution. One for communication. Immediate shift. She said, "I feel like I'm finally working with the space, not against it." Her profitability improved within the quarter. Not because revenue increased, because waste decreased. Here's the pattern. When the environment creates resistance, leaders compensate with effort. More hours, more control, more follow-up. That compensation looks like dedication, but it's actually drag. And drag is expensive because the leader becomes the bottleneck. Every decision funnels through someone who's operating in a high-friction environment. So everything slows down. And when everything slows down, money slows down. Releasing the flow. So how do you release money that's stuck inside your business? You start by diagnosing where the blockage actually is. Not in your marketing, not in your offer, in your environment. Here's a simple diagnostic you can run right now. Sit in your workspace and ask yourself, does this space make decisions feel easier or harder? Does it make focus feel natural or forced? Does it create a sense of completion, or does everything feel perpetually unfinished? If the answer is harder, forced, or unfinished, you've found your blockage. Now, releasing flow doesn't mean redesigning your entire office. It means removing friction. And friction is often structural, not aesthetic. First principle, stabilize your position. If you're sitting in a place where you feel exposed, interrupted, or unsupported, your nervous system stays on alert. And when you're on alert, decisions slow down. Move your position so your back is stable, your sightlines are clear, and interruptions are controlled. Second principle, separate your work modes. Strategy should not happen in the same space as execution. Execution should not happen in the same space as communication. When modes mix, focus fragments. Create zones, even small ones. It signals to your brain, this space has one purpose. Third principle, close open loops. Every unfinished item in your visual field is a tax on attention. Papers that need filing. Devices that need charging. Projects that need deciding. Remove them. Not because they're messy, because they're mentally expensive. Fourth principle, control your entry points. If people can approach you from any direction at any time, you're not leading. You're reacting. Create clear pathways. Control access. Let people know when and how to reach you. That's not isolation. That's structure. And structure allows flow. Fifth principle, create a closing zone. Every business needs a space where things finish, where contracts are signed, where decisions are locked, where payments are confirmed. That space should feel different from brainstorming spaces. It should signal, this is done. When you apply these principles, something shifts. Not magically, naturally. Decisions feel lighter. Execution feels faster. The business starts to consolidate instead of just circulate, because you've removed the environmental resistance that was slowing everything down. Money doesn't get stuck because you're not working hard enough. It gets stuck because the structure isn't supporting flow. Fix the structure and flow returns.